Hello guys. Today we're going to talk about a very important topic in biology, which is the excretion in humans and animals. Let's start with the definition of excretion. It is a vital process by which the living organisms get rid of the waste products that are produced from the biological processes and the chemical reactions that accompany them. Let's see the importance of excretion. Excretion is very important for all living things. Okay, why is that? Because living organisms must get rid of the waste products continuously as soon as they are formed, as their accumulation inside the body may cause many problems and infections. Excretion in animals. The excretion process refers only to the materials that leave the body through the plasma membrane. What are the important waste products that must be excreted? Okay, let's start. Firstly, the water and carbon dioxide are produced from the degeneration of organic molecules. As we know that water and carbon dioxide are the products of respiration, and they are the reactants for photosynthesis. The second waste product that must be excreted is the nitrogenous waste products such as ammonia, urea, and uric acid, which are the result of protein degeneration. There are other excretory products which are not considered as excretory products, like undigested food, which is excreted in the form of stool or feces, as they do not pass through the plasma membrane of the cells. Also, nitrogen enters the two lungs in inspiration and expiration. That's what also it enters and leaves the two lungs without passing through the plasma membrane. There are certain functions for excretory organs in the bodies of higher animals. So, the functions of excretory organs in the bodies of higher animals are: firstly, the disposal of damaged and poisonous material, regulation of body contents of water and minerals. There are 4 important organs in our body that are responsible for excretion. Firstly, the skin, the 2 lungs, the 2 kidneys, and the liver. So you have to know them very well, and we are going to discuss the skin and the skin today. We're going to talk about the skin today. Okay, let's look at this table. This table is very important, and it's very important to know the organ and the excretory material for each organ. For example, here are the excretory material. We're talking firstly about the carbon dioxide, and the organ that is responsible for the excretion of carbon dioxide are the 2 lungs. The organs that are responsible for excretion of excessive water are the organs that are responsible for excretion of excessive water: 2 kidneys, skin, 2 lungs. The organs that are responsible for excretion of nitrogenous waste products: 2 kidney, skin, and the skin. The mineral salts are excreted by the 2 kidneys and the skin. Spices are excreted by the 2 kidneys and the 2 lungs. Poisonous material are excreted by the 2 kidneys or the liver. So here is a very nice exercise. Okay, here we have 2 circles, okay, and they interact in the type of waste product, the name of the waste product. We're going to put the name of the waste product in between the 2 circles. Firstly, the waste product is water. So the two organs, there are two organs that are responsible for the excretion of water, which are the skin and the lungs. What about the nitrogenous waste? They are excreted through the skin and the kidney. And the spices, what about the two organs that are responsible for the excretion of spices, the kidney and the lungs? What about the poisonous material, the kidney and the liver? Okay, so try to learn this table very well. It will help you a lot in solving such problem. Let's start with the skin first and know the structure of this organ. Skin is considered to be the biggest organ in the body, and it covers the whole body and limbs from outside. The structure of the skin consists of two main parts, two main layers, the epidermis and the dermis. The epidermis consists of surface layer and the inner layer. The dermis contains certain things like the sebaceous and the sweat glands, hair follicles and hair muscles, sensory nerve endings, blood vessels and fatty cells. Let's look at this very nice picture. Okay, it's a section in the human skin. Okay, let's look at can you see now? Here we have the epidermis and the dermis. We're going to start with the epidermis. The epidermis consists of a surface layer and the inner layer. Surface layer is made up of dead cells or non-living cells, okay, and full of horny substance called keratin, which is responsible for the protection against the invasion of microbes. It arises, these dead cells arise from the migration of inner epidermal layer cells to the outer surface, and then they die. It is worn out and continually compensated from beneath because it's always subjected, so our skin is always, that's because our skin is subjected to friction all the time. Example, by using a towel or rubbing your hands together, washing your hands, and so on. The next layer, here we have the inner layer, which is made up of living cells, and they compensate the surface layer with a continuous replacement. Its base contains pigment cells which secrete granules. These called melanin. They are called melanin, which melanin, normally we know that it's responsible for giving the skin its color, the skin color. White people, black, whatever. Okay, we're going to talk now. We've finished now the epidermis. Now we're going to start the dermis. Dermis is the second layer, which is much bigger than the surface layer. The dermis lies beneath the epidermis, consists mainly of connective tissue, and contains the following things: sweat glands, hair follicle and hair muscles, blood vessels, sebaceous glands, sensory nerve endings, fatty cells. Firstly, we're going to talk about each one now. Number one is the sweat gland. Sweat gland is the unit secretion in the skin. It consists of a thin and coiled tube around itself, this tube reaches to the surface in the epidermal layer through a pore called sweat pore. The function of the sweat gland is what? It extracts or removes the water and salts and small amounts of nitrogenous waste from the blood. This sweat is continually produced on the surface of the skin to decrease the body temperature. So it's very important to sweat in order to decrease the body temperature. Hair is very important. The structure of the hair consists of hair follicle surrounded by many blood capillaries and supplied with an erector muscle to move it when it contracts. There is a sebaceous gland which secretes oily secretion. This oily secretion has two functions. Firstly, to facilitate the exit of hair from the skin. Secondly, is to keep the hair soft and pliable. The last thing we're going to talk about today is the sensory nerve endings. They respond to touch, pain, pressure, and temperature. I hope that you have understood this topic today and it was easy to learn. If you have any comments or questions, just say write it in the comment down below, and we can later make more questions if you're willing to, or if you want to. We can make multiple choice questions next time in our next video. Let me know your feedback on this video. Was it helpful to you or not? Thank you very much for today.